Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. I'm your instructor Joy. Let me first play a tune for you. This was a little excerpt from the famous Czardas by Monti. Thank you very much for your continued support here. Also my Patreon page, booking lessons with me, sending me kind questions, comments, volunteering with your time. I really appreciate. So this video is an answer to a subscriber. This fan was wondering how one could vibrate harmonics. Very good question. I will post some more videos about harmonics, natural harmonics and artificial harmonics, and so that you know what it is. As you notice that these are not the usual notes. These are the kind of squeaky, funny whistle like sounding. My mom calls it like a ghost sound. It does a great effect in concert, so it's a great skill to know. Now we know the harmonics. Natural harmonics involves one light fingertip. Artificial harmonics involve two fingers, one is solid, one is light, like that. So once you know how to play the one, then you're wondering, I've seen others vibrating, how one could do that. So this video will be that one. So let's start first. What is vibrato? More precisely, how does the exact sound of vibrato works? So basically vibrato is the one that when the note is, let's say this is your pitch, the note goes up, or actually that's your pitch. You start from the note, the note drops slightly and goes back up and up and up like this. This wave sound of being dropped a little, intonation, the pitch going slightly lower and coming back to the pitch and so on. And that's the point of pitch or point of sound, how the vibrato works. So basically something like this. This is note D. I'm talking about the regular solid note vibrato. So that's the note D. Then we would keep the note, slightly go lower, back up, right? By doing multiple times a little faster tempo, that's what it makes vibrato. Now you're wondering, but can't we just go a little above and below and above and below? Not really, because I will show it to you. So this is a note. If I go slightly above, slightly higher and below, and this is how it sounds. Our human ear tend to catch the pitch when it's the highest note. That's why it's important when you vibrate, you hit the note as the highest pitch and go slightly below and highest pitch. So that's how vibrato works. One could use, there are a lot of debate how one should use arm vibrato, wrist vibrato, finger vibrato, and so on. That's topic for another video, but let's talk about how one could vibrate harmonics. So knowing that one, the tone when you vibrate has to slightly get lower and back to its pitch, and a little lower back to its pitch, and so on. Same thing happens with vibrato too. So let's say I'm doing harmonics, this note. Or let's start the one that the natural harmonics that we learned first, which is, let's say, the open D. That's the D harmonics, which makes an octave higher. Now here, then what we do, we make notes slightly lower. But if I go too far, it's not gonna speak. So I have very little room to go down. So that's the hardest part of when it's vibrating harmonics. The technique itself is same, meaning the note has to go drop and come back. But the harmonics the room that how much you can actually pitch goes down, it's much smaller. So you just go a tiny bit and back up, tiny bit low and back up, and tiny bit low and back up, and that's what it is. And then you get a little fast. And that's basically what it is. Now here, one has to be careful also while you're moving, you don't get heavier with the fingertip. And that's where the arm vibrato people will be rewarded. But basically the motion, you're keeping hand as a one block, and then you're moving the motion. I'm going to exaggerate. The forward arm is going away from you and like this, but much smaller. Make sure your thumb is light as well as the harmonics finger. And that happens same way. Here we have, this is also natural harmonics. We're using third finger. Now here, you go slightly lower, back to pitch. Make sure you don't overdo it. Now here, it's going to be a little hard to do the usual way, meaning fingertip getting a little flatter, but rather see if we can do a combination of a little vibrato, the normal motion of finger joint being a little flatter, and as well as moving the entire forearm away from you. And then you'll see you can get it. Now artificial harmonics is same concept, but it's a little harder, because you might know artificial harmonics has to have you need to have a one finger very solid, which is the first finger, and fourth finger very light, and then this same finger weight relationship has to stay while you go slightly lower and back to its pitch, slightly lower, back to its pitch, and that's what it makes it extra hard. As you notice, if I go slightly further up, it already loses sound. So one will practice slowly. Then get a little faster. Then a little faster if you can. Then see if you can make it even narrower. And that's basically what it is. It's easier said than done, and one has to practice with much more patience. Like many techniques, patience and perseverance and correct practicing followed with repetition, you will get there, I promise. But we often get a little impatient. We want to try this one, get faster and wider. And certain techniques, such as this vibrating harmonics, leaves a very little room, almost no flexibility. So we have to be extra patient. Yeah, I hope you can try it. Thank you for watching. I wish you all happy and patient practicing. Thank you for watching. See you again. Bye bye.